Today we have a bell ringer. It is an open word sort. So what this is, it's an activation strategy prior to our unit so we can start thinking about the vocabulary that we're going to use. So what we're going to do for this is you're going to choose a partner, and then in front of you, you guys have sticky notes, and you are going to organize these terms into the 4 categories. And when it is an open word sort, that means that we have not learned this vocabulary before, so it is up to you guys to really think about how these words relate to those 4 categories, all these terms. So you guys can go ahead and get started. So now most of the class is done with their word sorts activities, so we're gonna quickly go over this. So like I said before, this is an open word sort, so it's just like open to interpretation. If it would have been like a closed word sort, that means that we would have known the terms and a bit about the categories. As a part of our second step for this strategy, we're going to hear why some students chose what they chose. So thank you for sharing. Now I want you guys to keep those terms. You don't necessarily have to keep the categories, but just keep those terms so you know what we are thinking about moving forward. Our objective for today is to define and understand the 7 forms of government, and then we are going to accomplish this objective by using a graphic organizer. So this is a strategy. It's a visual display that depicts the relationships between concepts, ideas, words. And the way we're going to do that is by using examples of these governments and then taking the time to define them in our own words after seeing these examples, seeing the definitions. The first part of this strategy, I want to model it with you guys. So I want you guys to I want to show you guys how I would do it and how I would kind of like to see you guys to do it in your own way. So first off, I'm going to write theocracy in one of these boxes, and you guys are free to do so as well. Just choose any box. And then I went ahead and looked up the definition. We have it on here. So I looked it up with 2 dictionaries, one of my own words. That's what I'll put, like a government run by religious leaders. Examples that I have. The first one is Vatican City. I'm sure many of you guys know, you might not know who the current pope is, but you know what a pope is. That is the person that is in charge of the Roman Catholic Church. And here I have these guiding questions along with that. So who's in charge and governs? It is the pope, and under him are cardinals, and it just has, for the Catholic Church, there's a hierarchy of individuals, but overall it is the Pope who governs in Vatican City, and that is in Rome, or not in Rome, but it's, well, yes, in Rome, but it is its own government. And then who has given the Pope, the cardinals, those in the Catholic Church, their power? God for them. So this is a theocracy. And then a very older example that I also have is ancient Egypt. So who was in charge and who governed in ancient Egypt? It was the pharaohs, and these rulers had their authority again by divine beings. It was believed that they were descendants of gods or were related to the gods in some way. You can go on ahead and write one of these examples, whichever one you think will give you a better idea and understanding of what a theocracy is. And so again, looking at these examples, when we look at Vatican City and the Pope, we can think that he is one person in charge of that government. I'd like for you guys to go on ahead and do an example. We're gonna do it all together as a class. Let's go on ahead, and I'd like for you guys to think about and choose which one might be a little bit more difficult. And this is gonna be our second step in like kind of learning this strategy, just like guiding. I'll be here asking you guys some guiding questions that will be open to you later as you do this independently, but let's go ahead and work on this together. I want to hear the definitions that you find and the examples that you find as well. And then let's see if we can find some examples of autocracy, either like in modern times or like postmodern times. So if we look back at our guiding questions, when thinking about that, we can think about who has the power. So with that, it's a specific person, Joseph Stalin. Who gave them authority? We could say themselves. Joseph Stalin was a dictator. He took power by himself. Do you guys think that your example is memorable?
Yes.
As you make up the definitions for the following terms and as you look for examples for them, just to remember. So you can think about who has the power, if it is the people or a specific group, if it's one person, few, all, none. Who gave them that power or authority? Was it the people themselves? Like, did they take it? And is your example memorable? Can you choose a different one or word it differently to make it easier to connect to the government that you are working on? So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys work independently on that. This is the last part of our strategy, just like working independently. And then at the end of our class period, we're going to come together and hear some examples and just see how we did using the graphic organizer. Okay, so today we used graphic organizers to help us organize these different forms of government. So now, just finish out class, we're just gonna hear some examples from everybody. I just want to hear one or two from everybody.